Hey, how are you today? This is Scramble from Emotionless Crypto Trading, and today we're going to discuss about NEO compared to Tether USD, market analysis, 4-hour candlesticks on Bittrex exchange. Tradingview.com is the website I'm running this market analysis. Now, before we go ahead, let's take a look at the CoinMarketCap.com to see the total volume of the market cap. For today, it's 148 billion, 3.3 million. Volume in the last 24 hours with a 49.2 BTC dominance, which have increased since yesterday. That means the altcoins market is pretty much decreasing while the Bitcoin market is gaining momentum, which is great, and that means Bitcoin might have another huge pump depending on the upcoming data received from the market analysis. So let's just go ahead and talk about NEO, which is considered as Chinese Ethereum, and it had a huge parabolic movement a couple of weeks ago in August, basically, which is actually like 2 months ago. From $9, from $7, it increased parabolically up to $48, which is something like $41 more in about, let me just look at a day, like 2nd of August till 14th of August, 12 days, increasing $41. That's quite a lot of money. Well, just check out the volume, $522 million in 24 hours at that time, while we even had days right over here with 24 million, 20 million, 28. We even had lower days. I've seen days with 13, right there, $13 million volume. So from 522 down to $13 million volume in 24 hours is insane. Now, it's all due to Chinese new regulations, banning exchanges here or there, closing down their possibilities of buying NEO with fiat currency, and of course, getting their society, their people scared. That's what happened and that's what caused NEO large loss decrease in price from $48 down to 13.59. Now it's all due to what happened in China, because that was the major market pushing NEO up, and that was kind of the fuel for NEO. So let's take a look at the market analysis we have right now, as we might have Chinese market coming back October, November with some sort of exchanges. Therefore, new funds will start pouring into our business, especially into Chinese cryptocurrencies. Now, this one right here represents, let me just get my tools over here, brush. Okay, so current situation is 35.9 bucks. This is where we are right now. We're increasing. We're currently in a nice uptrending channel, as you can see, with a couple of important points that we have to keep in mind. Right, this zone right here. So that zone right here, which still goes on, and it goes on like just like that. It's a powerful resistance zone. It acted as resistance a couple of times already, and we have to consider it between $37.7 and $38.5. We have to be aware that anytime we can bounce back from there, we can have a pullback from there, because that represents huge selling pressure so far for NEO. One case scenario, you can see it right over here, huge selling pressure. It has been activated and it pushed the market down the way while we were having that large momentum with the NEO price increasing parabolically. Even at that time, 37.7 and 38.5 was crucial point in the selling pressure. Now, once again over here, which was basically the start of this kind of a powerful downtrend that we had for NEO, which represented quite a big loss for a lot of people, and it has been triggered from the same price point. As you can see, that's where we started the parabolic movements down the way, breaking out of any sort of support, coming down the way till $13. So once again, it acted as resistance, and one more time, just very recently, right over here, we've got shadows basically on top of the bodies, on top of the body of the candlesticks, right? So talking about that long shadows, which represents rejection of the price. Therefore, we're trying to go up, but the market rejected us once again at that price point. So it continued to act just like that. Now, what we have to keep in mind is NIO is gonna retest that price point very soon, especially when Chinese is going to approve the exchanges and everything is just going to be on track as it was before, while society, population, Chinese will be able to invest with fiat currency as well as start trading their NIO, buy back into finding NIO in a very, very good shape because the price point is obviously cheaper than the all-time high as of right now, and probably it's going to be cheaper than the all-time high till we're not going to get green lights from Chinese government on the Chinese exchanges, right? So that's the time I see NIO going all-time high and approaching $70-80. We have high chances of achieving that if we're able to find basically a timing that's going to be in a bullish market along with Bitcoin. Hopefully NIO is going to be at that time in the same shape, because usually if Bitcoin is going bearish and there's another coin that wants to go parabolic, has great news and so forth, it's gonna struggle. It's gonna struggle because it goes and it wants to go against the dominant energy of the market, of the entire crypto space, which is gonna decrease the power of the support at that time, right? So hopefully NIO is gonna find parabolic movements when Bitcoin is going to increase as well with the entire crypto space. Therefore, the efficiency is going to be well worth it. Now, this is what we taught, and this is the way it looks like. This is what's the market analysis. It's definitely not a prediction. It's based on clear data offered by the market. So what we're here right now is we can very easily have a pullback till this point right here, which can really act as a support because it can transform from previous resistance as a support as it acted previously. I'll explain you what I'm talking about. So right over here, this price point, right? This price point we're talking about, this blue line goes on, just goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. Let's assume it goes on just like this. It acted over here as a support. It kept our structure up, right? Over here, once again, basically, it acted as a support, and it kept our structure to trade above it. Now, the only time there was a breakout of this line, it was at the time it has been triggered basically from this powerful resistance zone I was talking about. Now, once again, we have a chance basically to start trading above the 33.96 cents line, which also acted as a resistance line over here. At that time, we were trading below this line, which represents this structure right over here, which is pretty much traded below the blue line. So what happened is that this time we're trading above, then below, and right now we have high chances of trading above the line once again. Alright, so it just moves like this. We have high chances of achieving that if number 4 right here confirms. If that support right now confirms and transforms from previous resistance, which confirmed as still previous resistance, and then it can very easily transform into our next support because we had a breakout over here. We had a breakout of the line over here. Therefore, we can right now trade if it's meaningful, and if the support shows up at that time, we will trade above the structure of $33.96. Right? So at that time, we will approach once again our resistance point, our resistance zone, which is going to be again a major test. If we break out of that, that's going to be a possible great entry after the breakout upwards, right? So right over here, you want to pay high attention. And if you're not involved in NIO, right now in October, you want to look for this breakout basically and buy into as soon as it breaks out and confirms on the market analysis. Now, in order to do this, you have to run the market analysis for yourself, right? So Everything I'm doing here, I'm just trying to share the language of the market, which are details that will help you make a better decision. So once the market breaks out, you're approaching these prices, feel free to buy into and ride it up. Ride it up, because we have high chances if Chinese government comes in and announces the approval of numerous exchanges, especially on the big ones, then we will have NIO going all-time high in October or November. That's something to consider. That's why we have and we believe in NIO quite a lot for this month we're into, as well as the upcoming month. But still, till the end of the year, I do believe NIO has high chances of going parabolically above the all-time high resistance, which represents this blue line over here. So that's something to consider. On the other side, if we're coming back and we break out of the $33.96 support line right over here, it's a breakout. We're coming down the way. We're breaking out of the uptrending support line, which is this one right here. So let's assume that happens, because the entire space turns out to be bearish again. And if that happens, we're coming down the way. We're approaching this price. You want to pay high attention, because we can very easily confirm at that time. Just look at a nice support we were having over here after the pullback. Nice support. Therefore, once again, we have to be careful looking for an entry point. Looking for an entry point right there, buying into, and then riding it up. We just want to ride it up again and see where we can sell out. Now, you always want to buy in after the confirmations of the market. It's not like it's approaching the price, it's hitting it, and you're buying it. You're not using stop losses to buy into these entries, because that's not the way you should do. You have to run market analysis before every single action that you're doing in the crypto space. No matter what you're trying to do, no matter at what time, and no matter for what coin. You have to do this in order to be sure that your entry is backed up by data, because that's what we're doing right here. We're trying to look for entries backed up by data, as well as exits represented as exits from the market analysis. That's why you have to understand the language of it. Therefore, you will be able to trade as the professional traders are doing it. So that's kind of all about. Feel free to share your opinion and engage within this video presentation in the comments zone. I will appreciate your thoughts, ideas, and opinions. Feel free to share that. It's free, and I will definitely appreciate your feedback. So that's something to consider. On the other side, you can like, dislike, share this video as you prefer, because your feedback is welcome, and I definitely want to see what people think about it, as well as NIO for October and November price analysis, right? I don't like to give out predictions on YouTube. That's not a service I'm offering on YouTube. That's a service I'm offering on private, and that's something to consider. Now, there's still another possibility for you guys. If you would like to become my students, my one-on-one coaching program student, where I'm teaching people how to become professional traders from A to Z, feel free to check the first link in the description area of this video presentation. Thank you so much for watching. Right there, you've got the subscribe button. If you feel that's the right thing to do right now, just do it. Thank you so much once again. Talk to you next time.